Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A Tuesday of Westerns as we go back, start off with going back 69 years to Sunday, May 27, 1956, for episodes of Fort Laramie and Gunsmoke. We'll also have an episode of The Six Shooter starring Jimmy Stewart, and an episode of Suspense. It's not Western, but it's way out there, man. That real crazy infinity. And we'll wrap it all up with Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce, the couple next door. That's what's coming up here on this Tuesday. This is the 27th day of May, 147th day of the year, 218 days left in 2025. Ford Motor Company ceased manufacturing the Ford Model T on this date in 1927. They began retooling plants to make Ford Model A's. The 1,046-foot tall Chrysler Building in New York City opened to the public on this date in 1930. At the time, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world. Walt Disney released the cartoon The Three Little Pigs with its hit song Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf on this date in 1933. Supreme Court declared the National Industrial Recovery Act to be unconstitutional on this date in 1935. Now in California, the Golden Gate Bridge opened to pedestrian traffic, creating a vital link between San Francisco and Marin County.
Nothing more thrilling to me than to get on one end of the bridge of my car and drive through and see these towers, how they stand up, how majestically against the sky, how wonderful it is. The biggest thrill in the world is to know that I was part of it. And I feel so proud to tell the people I worked on it.
That pride in manufacturing and building. Engineer Louis Gregario on this date back in 1937, when the Golden Gate Bridge that he helped build opened up in California on this date in 1937. 1939, DC Comics published its second superhero in Detective Comics number 27. One of the most topical comic book heroes of all time, Batman. President Roosevelt proclaimed an unlimited national emergency on this date in 1941.
Therefore, with profound consciousness of my responsibilities to my countrymen and to my country's cause, I have tonight issued a proclamation that an unlimited national emergency exists and requires the strengthening of our defense to the extreme limit of our national power and authority. The nation will expect all individuals and all groups to play their full part without selfishness and without doubt that our democracy will triumphantly survive. I repeat the words of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. That little band of patriots, fighting long ago against overwhelming odds, but certain, as we are now, of ultimate victory, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
President Roosevelt will still publicly say that the U.S. was not going to get involved in combat operation in World War II, but that came to an end just a few months later, December 7th, 1941. Those words spoke on this date, May 27th, 1941. It was on this date in 1957, Buddy Holly and the Crickets released their most popular song, That'll Be the Day. Holly's career would only last less than 2 more years, dying in a plane crash near Clear Lake, Iowa, February 3rd, 1959, at the age of 22. The U.S. Navy aircraft USS John F. Kennedy, christened on this date in 1967 by Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy and her daughter Caroline. In Charlottesville, Virginia, on this date in 1995, actor Christopher Reeves paralyzed from the neck down after falling from his horse in a riding competition. 4 days later, when the accident was made public, neurosurgeon Dr. John Jane described Reeves' condition.
Mr. Reeves currently has no movement or spontaneous respiration. He may require surgery to stabilize the upper spine in the near future.
Reeves would survive nearly another 9 years as he passed away in 2004. Supreme Court ruled on this date in 1997 that Paula Jones could pursue her sexual harassment case against President Clinton while he was in office. In 1998, Michael Fortier sentenced to 12 years in prison and fined $200,000 for failing to warn authorities about the Oklahoma City bombing terror plot. The International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia in The Hague indicted Slobodan Milosevic on this date in 1999 and 4 others for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Kosovo. Members of the Islamic separatist group Abu Sayyaf seized 20 hostages from a affluent island resort on Palawan in the Philippines on this date in 2001. The hostage crisis would not be resolved for over a year. Barack Obama, the first president of the U.S. to visit Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park on this date in 2016 and meet the surviving victims of the 1945 atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Their souls speak to us. They ask us to look inward, to take stock of who we are.
And we should look back and remember what many of the people of Japan, not all the people of Japan, but many people in Japan, did on December 7th, 1941, and then continued to do when they attacked and attacked and attacked. The U.S. was not the only person harmed, Japan was not the only person harmed by World War II. The U.S. was not the only person harmed by World War II and Japan's actions. There were many. And the sad part is we started off defensive and went more than defensive. We went aggressive because what was happening. Now, whether it was manipulated by the government, who knows? I have no regrets as to what the U.S. did in World War II. None whatsoever. The Maryland flood event of 2018 occurred through the Patapsco Valley, causing 1 death, destroying the entire first floors of buildings in Main Street, Ellicott City, and caused cars to overturn. Passing away on this date in history, Robert Ripley of Believe It or Not fame, actor Jeffrey Hunter, Vincent James McMahon, the father of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who took Vincent James McMahon's WWF, made it the WWF, created WrestleMania, and became the WWE before his personal peccadillos took care of him. Vincent James McMahon passing away on this date in history. From Taxi, Jeff Conaway passing on this date, and Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers Band passing away on this date. Birthdays on this date of those who are no longer with us include entrepreneur Cornelius Vanderbilt, the lady who wrote the Battle Hymn of the Republic, Julia Ward Howe, gunfighter Wild Bill Hickok, the author behind Sam Spade and Nick and Nora Charles, Dashiell Hammett, former Vice President Hubert Horatio Humphrey, actor Vincent Price, the man behind the Caine Mutiny, the Winds of War, War and Remembrance, Herman Wouk, also Christopher Lee. We carried his radio show, and many people don't know he did an old-time radio compilation show, and I believe it was syndicated and distributed by the same people who at the time were doing, not When Radio Was, but another show, and it was a delightful show, and his own tales of the old radio shows. Christopher Lee, born on this date in history. Henry Kissinger, Secretary of State, Nobel Peace Prize recipient, who passed away 2 years ago at the age of 100, born on this date. Ramsey Lewis, wonderful musician, born on this date, and officer and a gentleman in Roots, Louis Gossett Jr., all born on this date, who have left us.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
A delightful actress, Lee Merriweather. You know her best from her role on Barnaby Jones with Buddy Ebsen. She was also a former Miss America, and she was a Catwoman. Yes, she portrayed Catwoman in the motion picture version of Batman back in 1966. Lee Merriweather, God bless her, 90 years old today and still looking great for her age. From Hill Street Blues, Bruce Weitz is 82. Pro wrestling promoter Eric Bischoff is 70, and he supposedly is trying to do something with Hulk Hogan. God bless him. From Susie and the Banshees, Susie Sue is 68. Roz on Frasier, Perry Gilpin, 64. From Loveline and now doing stand-up. Again, Adam Carolla, 61. I think he's also doing podcasts, too. But he actually was over at Dry Bar Comedy over in Utah. Very, very clean comedy club. And he did a great set over there. Carolla, 61 today. From Different Strokes, Todd Bridges is 60 today. From 30 Rock, Jack McBrayer is 52.
I am sorry to be using my barn voice in front of a lady, but I am riled up.
Totally riled up. Jack McBrayer is 52 today. Jim the Anvil Neidhart's daughter, Natty Neidhart. WWE performer for years and years and years, and now on the independent scene and looking better than she ever did in the WWE. Natty Neidhart, 43 today. From Glee, Chris Colfer is 35, and from The Idol, Lily Rose Depp. Yes, that Depp. 26 years old today. Those are just a few of the people who celebrate the 27th day of May as their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And on this Tuesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go back 69 years to May 27th, 1956. A pair of shows from that Sunday. Raymond Burr in Fort Laramie will be first.
Civil defense is common sense. Hi, this is Tony Bennett. Make sure you're prepared if a nuclear attack ever comes.
Tony Bennett was a wonderful performer, but I've got to tell you, I have very little respect for him because he's turned into a radio hater over the years. He knows that what little he's getting paid off of radio airplay is like others. You know, he doesn't get played as much as he used to, and he's mad because he's not making as much money. So he's just become a curmudgeon, particularly about radio, which made him. Radio made him. Tony Bennett there. There we go. Let's roll on here to Sunday, May 27th, 1956. Raymond Burr in Fort Laramie.
At the gallop! Oh! Fort Laramie.
Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier, the saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire, and the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
I never seen the sense of it. Scrubbing day after day, putting clean clothes on the dirty army. It's a way to earn her keep. Every woman marries a man earns a keep. Night and day, it's all earning.
Not today, Yes. Don't start on that talk again today.
Now, I plumb forgot about your delicate condition, Stella Merchant. I need be minding my manners more. It's just I ain't used to running into royalty on Soapsuds Row. Honest, I ain't.
I didn't mean to start you off, Yes. I'm sorry.
Sorry, are you? Well, you're sorry looking, I'll say that for you. Another day or two and you won't be able to stand in the same room with your washboard.
All right, Yes, all right.
It's a wash tub now, you are.
Couldn't you just be quiet? Think what you will, but keep it to yourself.
Enjoying yourself, ladies? Having a fine social hour, are you?
Oh, Fanny, it's her. Look at her. Can you tell by looking she's a regular queen?
I'm doing the best I can. If you'd let me be, if you wouldn't go at me so much...
Now, you listen to me, Stella Merchant, and hear what I say.
Fanny, don't. Don't shake me.
I'll do what need be. You're not earning your pay. Now you get some elbow grease behind that scrubbing or I'll send you packing with no pay for the month.
You wouldn't do that, Fanny. We need the money with the baby coming. We need every cent, Fanny.
Then earn it. Scrub! That's the way you get money around here.
Please, Fanny. Please. Don't.
She's going white, Fanny.
Ah, ninny.
If I could just get some air. Just a little air.
Well, now, a little air.
That's what she'll have, Fanny. Right before our eyes. You don't get her out of here.
All right, Stella. Grab a hold of one side of this clothes basket. You'll get all the air you need hanging clothes outside. I said grab a hold.
All right. Not quite so fast, Fanny.
Yeah, you're moving like cold molasses now. Carry your weight, Stella. Yeah. Pity they ain't some nice shade trees for you. Maybe a hammock. Ain't you the shape for a hammock, though?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't try. I thought I could work right up to the very day the baby came. Other women do.
You ain't other women.
You've no cause to talk to me like you do, Fanny. You and S. I never give you cause.
You never give me nothing but an awful bellyache. Combing and bathing and making pretty for the men.
For my man, Fanny.
That's it, is it? You're so full of lying sweet talk you believe yourself.
I thought we could all be friends. Out here, so far from home, all of us. I thought we could help each other.
You're long on help, ain't you? Everybody help. Everybody be happy. Well, you be happy, Stella. Like you're so willing to tell anything to be near Billy. Happy to earn your keep washing filth. Happy to bear his young'un. Happy, happy, happy.
I love Billy, Fanny.
Love. Ha!
You don't understand. You really don't understand. I never realized that till now.
It's the young as don't understand.
Did you never love Luke? Even then? When you were young? Did you never love him, Fanny?
Hang the clothes.
It would be awful if you didn't love.
You'll get no pay for John and taking the air like you are. You keep saying you need the money, we'll earn it.
I will, Fanny. I will earn it, and glad to.
And see you keep that glad stuff to yourself. You and your love and the life you feel kicking in you. I've buried more young'uns than you'll ever have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Truly sorry, Fanny.
Don't you never be sorry for me.
We followed the Laramie all the way till it cut through the range there. We left it and went cross-country, west and north, to a point about here.
It's almost to Medicine Bow River.
I think their main camp's on the Medicine Bow.
But you ran into other camps along the way?
Mm-hmm. Old camps, Major.
Yeah, the information you got from the settlers in the area would point to that. No Cheyenne in their vicinity since last fall. Isn't that the word?
And no Army patrol since last fall.
That follows?
To me it does. The settlers have spent the winter in peace since the Cheyenne ran off their horses last fall. The cavalry sends out one small patrol in the late spring, and the Cheyenne mysteriously reappear.
But not in numbers.
All right. Cheyenne scouts, 8 of them.
You could have killed them at any time you were following them.
Yeah, just about. Only they were leading us, Major. There's a difference.
Only because you were willing to be led.
That was our business, reconnaissance. You don't kill 8 scouts who are leading you into a trap.
Of course you don't. If you're sure it's a trap.
Look, for 2 days, if we didn't keep pace with them, they waited for us. The morning of the 3rd day, they cut off into a canyon that leads straight to the Medicine Bow like we were leading a charge behind them. I know an ambush when I see one.
And you don't ride into them with 10 men behind you.
I don't ride into them with a company behind me.
All right, Captain.
I'm sorry, Major. We rode all night.
You rode all night for 3 nights. I know that, Lee. I want you to get some rest.
I'd like to finish my report, sir.
It can wait till morning.
I don't think so.
All right, Lee. Let's get it all said. I don't like it this way, but one of us has to get a good night's sleep.
I'll sleep fine, Major.
I will, too, once this is over. Now, from your report, you seem convinced the Cheyenne have their main camp on the Medicine Bow. And I get the impression you think they're getting restless.
They'll have to move somewhere. That country had about 1 winter's good hunting left in it. They've had that.
If they haven't raided since fall, you're right. We could stop them before they start.
They'll move north, maybe as far north as the Montana Territory.
Why not south?
Other tribes, Utes, Apaches. The Cheyenne would rather face the white man.
I know.
You know, you're bleeding me pretty dry, Major.
How's that?
I got a feeling I'm mapping a campaign I'm not going to be part of.
You just finished the toughest part of a campaign. A lot of men can lead a charge who can't do successful reconnaissance.
Major, I'm...
Captain. You're assigned to quarters till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Who's going to replace me, Major?
I am.
I'd be a fool to question that choice.
Yes, you would. That's all, Captain. Dismissed.
Yes, sir. Oh, Major, who's going to replace you?
Me?
Yeah, here, as post commander.
You are. Any questions?
No, sir. No questions.
Can't see by that light, Stella.
Fine enough for this little bit of hand stitching, Billy.
Well, best you rest yourself a while. Come on, sit in the doorway with me.
In a while, honey.
Well, it's a fine night, Stella. Slice of moon. Nice bit of breeze off the sweet clover.
I can smell it from here. It's like home, ain't it, Billy?
Well, it is home, Stella. Only one we ever had together. You ever think of it? Maybe some Injun and his squaw sitting like we are tonight, looking out at the stars, talking about the papoose they're going to have in no time at all.
Billy Merchant. How you think of things like that?
They come to me. Well, don't they come to you?
You know they do. It's part of what we have together, you and me. But that's not a man thought, is it?
How you sound like Luke and Joe. Sweet Billy, they call me. It's just because I noticed a sky or a flower.
Don't you mind them, Billy?
No, I don't. I don't mind them. Like you don't mind fanning. Yes.
Why you say it that way?
'Cause that's the way it is, Stella. Feeling folks like us, we feel too much sometimes. We let folks get to us, rub us wrong, maybe. Maybe hurt us some.
I love you.
Sure. I said we were feeling folks.
Oh, Billy. Billy.
When you gonna have that baby, Stella?
Soon, honey. As soon as I can.
It's a hard time for you. I know that.
Not too hard, Billy.
You're fretting some. You got some pain?
No, not real pain. Like a catch, you know. Not often enough to matter.
Now, it wouldn't be right to lie to me, honey.
I don't lie to you. Ever.
Just sometimes you don't tell me all the truth, ain't that it?
You're feeling folks, too. You ought to know good as me.
Yeah. Yeah, I ought to.
You're fretting some, Billy Merchant. That's who's fretting around here.
No man's going to be a father has all the right. You know, they do say some men take on worse than women, folk. You know that, Stella? Swimmy-headed morning times like that?
That ain't what's troubling you.
No. No, it ain't. No, it sure ain't. How many times I asked you to give up your work at the laundry?
You mean how many times today you ask me?
Yeah, and always you tell me it's what you gotta do, no matter what.
It is, Billy.
It's the same with me, Stella. I got my work to do, no matter what.
Now then, I ain't asked you to give up being a trooper. I declare, I don't know what B Company'd do without you.
I ain't drawed nothing but garrison duty for more than a month now. I just ain't gonna last.
Billy?
On stable detail today, we were sure readying those mounts for something more than a parade ground, Stella.
You got orders to move out?
No, ma'am. No, but Captain Quince's patrol come back on the post today. And when reconnaissance comes back, we just gotta be moving out.
Be nice if you's wrong, Billy.
We gotta face up to it, Stella. You might just gotta have that baby without me.
I sure never planned that way.
If it had to be, would you want to try to make it back home?
To my ma?
Sure.
Why, Billy Merchant. That'd take every cent we own and then some.
I ain't thinking of that.
Well, then you think about it right now. Only don't take the bother. If they was money, they ain't time.
Stella, I want to be with you more than anything I could name. But I can't ask the favor of a leave. You understand that?
You got your work to do, Billy. No matter what.
Come in.
Captain Quince, sir.
Sergeant?
I must have took a wrong turn, sir. I was told to report to the office of the post commander.
Close the door, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Now, sit down, Gorse. And, Gorse, any time you want to get rid of that stupid grin, you can.
Yes, sir. Well, you look powerful big behind that desk.
Yeah, too big for the desk. Maybe too small for the job.
You'll do what you gotta do, Captain.
I was thinking more that we'd do what I gotta do, Gorse.
You was?
Major Daggett tells me that Sergeant Pearson takes a big load off him sitting at that desk outside.
Well, he ain't sitting out there now.
He's getting his equipment together, fixing to move out with Major Daggett after reveille tomorrow morning.
Captain Quince.
He'll need a good briefing, Sergeant Pearson will.
Well, I'd like to volunteer to...
Good. That saves me an order, Sergeant.
To go with B Company as a special scout.
And when you've finished briefing him, he can fill you in on the details of his desk job.
One of us ain't listening, Captain.
It's a side of the Army we don't know much about, Gorse. Time we did.
You being in charge and all, you think you could arrange a quick transfer for us, maybe the infantry?
Better find Sergeant Pearson. Tell him all you know.
Yes, sir. Now, that'd be my job, wouldn't it?
Till we get swinging doors. Guess it is.
Lieutenant Seibert, sir.
Sergeant? Captain Quinn, sir?
Oh, come in, Mr. Seiberts. Your duty begins in an hour, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
With the captain's permission, I'd like to offer congratulations, sir.
You came here for a briefing, Mr. Seiberts.
I understand that.
Sit down.
Yes, sir.
You familiar with the Horseshoe Creek area?
Oh, yes, sir. That map you're using.
The map's wrong.
Well, I drew that map, Captain.
Then you're wrong. Horseshoe Creek does not feed from the Medicine Bow River.
No, sir. From the Little Medicine Bow.
Not by 20 miles, Mr. Seiberts. 20 miles of twisting canyon through the Laramie Range. That's this line here. Now, Horseshoe Creek is east of the range. Medicine Bow and the Little Medicine Bow are to the west. They do not join.
Well, they must have once, sir. It's like a riverbed all through the floor of that canyon.
They didn't join last fall when you drew this map.
You mean the waters didn't join, the riverbeds did?
Mr. Seiberts, a cavalry company moves with water. Water points a course of travel, a campsite.
I know that, sir.
Do you?
Captain Quince, that's the first country I ever charted, the first map I ever drew.
Well?
It's not an excuse, sir.
Sounds like one, Mr. Seiberts.
Well, what I mean, seeing it was my first real attempt and all, I never thought that we'd be using that map to campaign by.
We're not.
That's good.
You bet it's good, Mr. Seiberts. Good and lucky. I pulled this map out of the Major's files last night to study it. I spent the rest of the night drawing up a proper map. Here, Mr. Seiberts. You tear it up.
Thank you, Captain.
Don't thank me. Remember it. Remember it good. And then forget it.
Captain Quinn.
I've already forgotten it, Mr. Seiberts.
Can't see him now, Merchant. Whatever it is, it's got to wait.
Babies don't wait, Sergeant.
Trouble here, men?
No trouble, Captain.
Captain Quinn, sir, I'd like
That's
to...
enough, Trooper.
Company B's forming fours in the parade ground, Merchant.
Yes, sir, Captain. But what I'd
No
like to...
buts about it.
Captain Quince, I respectfully request permission for an Can't I please get a hearing from you, sir?
Captain, don't conduct no hearings this time of day, Trooper.
It's all right, Gorse. Let's have it, Merchant. And quick.
Obliged, sir. Any time now, any little minute, I'm going to have a baby, Captain.
Well...
Sergeant, my respects to Major Daggett. Tell him Trooper Merchant will be on the parade ground in 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I met my wife, Captain. Stella. She's having a baby.
I'm glad to hear that, Merchant.
Now, seeing it's her first, sir, and her being alone, I mean no kinfolk nearby to help or lend a hand.
I hope you're not asking me for leave, Trooper.
No, sir. I mean to move out with the company.
You'll move out with the company. You'll have nothing on your mind but the Cheyenne.
I know what you mean, sir.
Then all we gotta settle is what you mean, Merchant.
Well, sir, it pleased me to tell Stella that the post surgeon was on hand to tend after her. And the baby, too, when it comes. Well, that eased her some, sir.
Well?
It'd ease me some if you was pleased to tell me I was telling Stella all the truth.
The post surgeon's leaving with B Company, Merchant.
I see, sir.
Your wife in your quarters now?
No, sir. No, she's working in the laundry.
Well, we're holding things up, Merchant.
Yes, sir. And thanks for hearing me out.
Merchant, you know that Merchant, women have babies every day.
Yes, sir. I'll sure try to look on it that way, sir.
Good luck, Trooper.
Look at that Luke. Never was a man so glad to leave his woman.
There's one is glad. right next to him. Joe, beaming and smirking, grates on my nerves sometimes, seeing that brother face engine arrows in us.
Well, I ain't grieving none myself. Luke's been home a month.
A good month.
Good and long, that's a fact. I know what you're thinking, Ass.
Oh, you sure?
You'll be to yourself. All to yourself.
That's pure blessing. You know it is, Fanny.
Oh, they haven't gone yet. I was most afraid they'd be gone.
Well, now, look who's managing a brave little smile.
She don't know enough to laugh, Ass. Pay her no mind.
I don't see Billy. Could you just point out Billy to me?
Use your young eyes. No matter you don't see him. He couldn't stand a chance of missing you, popping clean into the parade grounds the way you are.
Could be your sweet Billy's in trouble. He was late for formation. And he come out of headquarters with Captain Quince himself.
You can't fret me, Fanny. Say what you will, the two of you can't fret me. There ain't nobody can fret me no more.
There they go.
Only stirring sight they is, bands a-playing and flags a-flying.
And then leaving.
Would you, if you see him, point out Billy to me? I declare I can't see him yet.
Well, you're not likely to yet. Them's officers up front. Major Daggett and that Lieutenant Seibert.
Who's that other one riding atwixt them?
Well, I declare that's Major Trucks. Now, you don't see him riding off every day.
Wonder who's tending the hospital with him a-going.
Who's Major Trucks?
You mean you don't know the post surgeon when you see him?
Post surgeon Lee?
Well, you didn't think he'd stay here to look after you-uns now, did you?
He must not have known. Billy wouldn't have said. If he'd known. Billy? Billy? Don't you worry none now. Billy? Not a worry. Here.
Oh, come on, Ass, for this turns my stomach good.
I'll get the door for you, Captain.
You sure this is where she lives?
It's Merchant's, all right.
Turn the bed down, Gorse.
Yes, sir. It's a mite stuffy in here. I'll get that window.
And some water, Gorse. She's limp as a rag.
Yes, sir. Just like I found her, Captain, keeled over in her tracks.
A little water on her face. Maybe it'll brighten her. She's breathing quiet enough.
Too quiet, Captain?
I don't think so.
Oh, Billy. Billy.
She thinks you're her husband, Captain.
Big mistake. Here, ma'am. You drink a little water. You come around.
I don't know. You.
No, ma'am.
You're in my quarters, and I don't know you.
No sense giving her a fright, Captain. I'll just go along.
You leave me, Gorse. I'll throw you right in the stockade.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Here.
Oh.
Now take her hands, Gorse.
Oh.
Take her hand.
Hold them.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I guess. You know, I'm gonna have a baby.
I guess you're about as right as you can be, ma'am.
Oh.
Well, go ahead, Captain.
Go ahead and what?
Hit it.
Hit it? It's a girl.
No matter. You're supposed to hit it one on its sit-down.
Yeah, that's right. It's the first right move we made.
Now, don't cry, little girl. Don't you cry. You'll wake your ma.
Don't worry, Gorse. I don't think her ma'd mind.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Ray Kemper, musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Jack Moyles and Harry Bartell, with Virginia Gregg, Dick Crenna, Helen Klebe, and Ann Morrison.
Company, tension! Dismiss!
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry. Sitting ducks are supposed to be targets for trouble. Your car is a sitting duck and yourself a target for trouble when you park carelessly. These days, problems of finding a parking place lead some drivers to attempt parking in spaces that are too small. They leave parts of the car exposed, jutting out into traffic lanes. As a result, another car swerving or coming around a corner can smack into the exposed front or rear end. Double parking, along with all the frustration it can cause, also increases the hazard of this kind of accident. Don't make your car a sitting duck in the way and asking for trouble.
Great cast, Fort Laramie. It aired at 5:30 Eastern Time on Sunday, May 27th, 1956, here on on Classic Radio Theater with Wilcox. Take a look at the news headlines coming up in just a moment.
This is Art Linkletter. In event of atomic bombing or some other catastrophe, here's something important to remember. It will help save lives, including your own. Do not use the telephone. Leave the line open for official rescue and relief. This is your part in civil defense. Remember, don't use the phone. Leave the line clear for safety of your own life and the lives of others.
Yeah, back in 1956 and back in the 50s and 60s, dial telephones were really very, very reliable. In fact, much more reliable than our cell phones are today as far as communication medium, because the infrastructure was much better. Today, you lose power for any length of time, and you ain't going to have no cell phones. That's a tremendous issue, and many of the providers aren't doing what they should. Let's talk about the news from this date, 69 years ago today, Sunday, May 27th, 1956. Congressman Glenn R. Davis, the Republican from Waukesha, Wisconsin, endorsed on the third ballot by the Wisconsin Republican Convention yesterday for nomination to the Senate over veteran Alexander Wiley, who had served 3 terms. The convention, then by unanimous approval, declared it a nomination by acclamation. General Curtis LeMay estimated that by 1959, Russia will have enough long-range bombers and nuclear weapons to destroy the United States if Soviet airmen should get every conceivable break in a surprise attack. The reluctant gurus of the command of the Strategic Air Command made public yesterday by the Special Senate Subcommittee investigating relative U.S.-Soviet air power. Long secret documents made public yesterday recounted that Nazi propagandists with thousands of dollars in hand collaborated with a well-known Republican congressman in trying to get the 1940 Republican National Convention to adopt an isolationist platform. No name given for the congressman is captured in captured German documents held secret for 16 years by British, French, and American officials. They were made public without comment by the State Department, but a footnote cited a Keep Out of War newspaper advertisement published at the time over the signature of Hamilton Fish Jr., then a Republican representative from New York. A band of Algerian rebels slashed the throats of 12 French civilians in a raid Friday night at a construction company camp in eastern Algeria. The rebels cut down the head of the French construction company, his wife, 5 technicians, and 5 guards, while 30 Muslim workers scattered in panic. In an editorial in yesterday's Chicago Sun-Times, the newspaper which supported President Dwight Eisenhower for president in 1952, the newspaper said Senator Kefauver has been guilty of McCarthyism in his campaign against Adlai Stevenson in Florida. Paper writing in the editorial, Kefauver has done his best or worst to make it appear that Adlai has little understanding of or sympathy for the older people who must look to federal and state governments for help. The editorial, entitled Estes Plays It Dirty. The editorial went on to say that Kefauver has based his case on a pension bill which Stevenson vetoed in 1951 while governor of Illinois, but the editorial pointed out state legislature made no provision for additional taxes that would have been necessary to cover the extra $14 million that the bill would have cost. President Eisenhower played 27 holes of golf yesterday, his longest round since the day before his heart attack last September. Eisenhower took to the links at the Gettysburg Country Club in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania at 9:30 the morning after his flying visit to Waco, Texas, where he made a speech and received an honorary degree from Baylor University. He completed the 27 holes a few minutes after 1 o'clock and then motored back to his farm where he spent the weekend. A good catching saves lives. In Washington Friday night, Ringling Circus aerialist Elizabeth Knox' swaying pole snapped, plunging her toward Tanbark 55 feet below. Husband Joseph atop another swaying pole snatched at her arms and caught her. Both of them then slid safely down. Mrs. Knox saved her husband similarly earlier this season. In Pittsburgh, a young mother dropped her 6-month-old baby from a third-story window of their burning home safely into the arms of officers and then jumped herself into the arms of 2 other officers. 109-year-old Albert Woodson, the last surviving Union Army veteran, discharged from a Duluth, Minnesota hospital after receiving treatment for a lung congestion. The 4 living Dion quintuplets not planning a 22nd birthday party Monday. Celebration of her newly opened flower shop in Montreal a few days ago served the purpose, according to Marie Dion. Red relations with the free world having their ups and downs. The U.S. has rebuffed Bulgaria's bid to reestablish diplomatic relations broken off in 1950, and the Vatican has turned a cold shoulder to the hint of a possible concord with the Soviet. Meanwhile, Yugoslavia announced Marshal Tito will reach Moscow Saturday for his 3-week tour of Russia. And in London, Air Minister Nigel Birch has accepted a Kremlin invitation to a big air show in Moscow on June 24th. Emphasizing there's no possibility of damage to any living thing, the California Department of Health yesterday reported fallout materials from the H-bomb blast in Eniwetok last Sunday have reached the West Coast. 10,000 people watching an aircraft firepower demonstration at Fort Bliss, Texas, saw a jet fighter grind into the ground, killing the pilot. Mobile, Alabama, a Baptist minister's wife, one of 20 Negroes attending integrated Spring Hill College, will graduate on Tuesday. First Negro to receive a degree in the college's 126-year history. She's also the first to finish a white school in Alabama. And down Florida way, enough moonshine whiskey to give the fish a weekend bender. Dumped into the Miami River yesterday following the seizure of an 1,100-gallon shipment by state, federal, and county agents. A tractor-trailer bringing the moonshine to Miami was intercepted as the vehicle approached the outskirts of the downtown Miami Negro district. The liquor was given a retail over-the-counter drink value of $17,000. Arrested and charged with violations of federal tax law, 26-year-old Raymond A. Crawford of Jacksonville, driver of the truck, and 28-year-old James B. Lawrence of Miami. Agents said the moonshine ring bringing the whiskey into Miami had been under surveillance for some time. They were waiting for the truck when it pulled into town. Well, the cargo poured into a sewer line feeding into the river. Agents refused the request of a Negro who asked he could fill an empty pop bottle with the going-to-waste moonshine. Those some of the day's top news stories from the newspapers of Sunday, May 27th, 1956. On your radio on that Sunday evening, not only you just heard Fort Laramie, but next you'll hear Gunsmoke.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Boris Karloff. No one can guarantee the survival of every home during a nuclear war, but a strong civil defense can save millions of lives. Make sure that yours is one of them. Learn how to protect your home. Call Civil Defense today.
There's a clip floating around from the Red Skelton show, and it is of Boris Karloff riding in a golf cart with Vincent Price, and they sing some an irrepressibly happy song. And it was at an age where Vincent was not doing, not Vincent, but Boris Karloff was not doing well. But some of the people who were there at the time say he was walking with a cane and he was short of breath. But when the camera went on and when the crowd was into it, he was himself. He was Boris Karloff. And it was just delightful to hear. And, of course, another one, Vincent Price. Wonderful sense of humor and truly an amazing comic mind he had, and we saw so little of it. Of course, you've heard, we've aired an episode that he was on with Bob Bailey, a Johnny Dollar episode, where his art expertise was highlighted on that show. Okay, let's go away from reminiscences having to do with these public service announcements, and let's go to Dodge City, Kansas, and hear what's going on in the life of Marshal Matt Dillon and the folks of Dodge City in this episode of Gunsmoke, going back 69 years, May 27, 1956, the story of the Manhunter.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed, thanks to Accuray. They satisfy the most.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. and a little lonely. Well, what's your hurry, Chester?
Oh, hello, Mr. Dillon. I'm going over to the stable.
No, what for? You leaving town?
No, sir. Hank Young's over there. I got to see him.
Well, I'm not doing anything. I'll go with you if you don't mind.
Well, good. I run into Mr. Bowers, and he asked me to give Hank a message for him.
No?
Well, Hank is a real nice fellow, Mr. Dillon.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't, Chester.
Yes, sir, I know. But I was just thinking there ain't many fellows around here steady and peaceable as he is.
I guess that's one reason Bowers has kept him working at the ranch for so long.
Mm-hmm. There he is.
Where?
Cinching up his saddle with his back to us there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Dillon, I'm going to surprise him. Walk easy, huh?
Okay.
Gotcha! No, Hank, no!
Look out, Chester! Oh! Now, take it easy, Hank.
Oh, Marshal. I didn't know who it was. You shouldn't come up on me like that, Chester.
Merciful goodness, I guess I shouldn't.
Now, where'd my gun? Oh, there's my gun. It's a wonder it didn't go off. You hitting at me that way, Marshal.
How come you're wearing a gun, Hank? I don't think I ever saw you with one.
I wore guns before, Marshal.
No, I meant around here.
No, maybe not around here.
Hank? Hank, Mr. Bowers is going to be an hour or so longer than he thought.
He is, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, you tell him I'll see him out the ranch. We got work to do out there. So long.
So long.
So long, Hank.
My, I guess I really upset him.
Something sure has.
Hank ain't never acted like that before. We're always kindly teasing each other.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it.
Dillon?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you, Marshal.
Well, go ahead.
My name's Quillen. Ben Quillen. I've only been here a few days. I've been meaning to get acquainted, but I thought I'd do a little scouting around for myself first.
No?
What's the name of that man you was just talking to, Marshal?
Well, why?
Oh, he kind of fits the description of the fella I've been hunting. You see, I'm a deputy sheriff.
No?
There's my badge.
Deputy Sheriff, Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah, I got papers to prove it, too.
Yeah, you've come a long way, Quillen.
I think it's going to be worth it, Marshal. Here, take a look at this.
What is it?
It's a warrant for Ike Abbott.
Prescott, Arizona, July 6, 18. Something. It's kind of smudged.
You read the description.
Hmm.
Don't Ike Abbott sound like your friend who just left? Sure does to me. Same height, same build, same kind of face, brown hair and eyes. Just about everything.
Is that true, Mr. Dillon?
Well, it fits generally, yeah.
But what's he wanted for?
It's a warrant for his arrest, Chester. He's charged with murder.
Hank?
We heard he was hiding out around Dodge somewhere. He's been here about 3 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, just about. Why didn't you make your arrest a few minutes ago, Quillen?
I wanted to be sure, Marshal. And I also want to talk to you first. After all, this is your territory.
Hank's wearing a gun, Quillen. Does he know you?
No. But I've been asking around about anybody from Arizona. He must have heard about it. Well, I guess I'll ride out and take him.
No.
What?
Hank Young's ready to fight. I don't want to kill him. I'll go.
You mean you'll bring him in for me?
Well, if I'm sure he's the man you're after, then I think I can find out.
Okay. Well, watch your step, Marshal. He's already killed one man.
Don't worry, Quillen. So have I.
Introducing one of the country's best-known jazz musicians and arrangers, Mr. Bobby Haggart. How about whistling along with him?
Packs more pleasure, packs more pleasure. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
It stands to reason a cigarette made better and packed better smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. By Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
That's him sitting in the bunkhouse door, Mr. Dillon. I thought he said he had work to do.
He had nothing special to do except get out of Dodge.
You think he's gonna make trouble?
And I hope not. Hello, Hank.
Marshal. Chester.
Hello, Hank.
Looking for me.
There are a couple of things I want to ask you, Hank.
You go right ahead, Marshal.
You've known me about 3 years, right?
About that.
And you know when I go after a man, I generally bring him back.
So you do, Marshal.
Is that why you put your gun away?
Well, I declare, he ain't armed no more, is he?
No, I ain't.
Well, you told me the truth, Hank.
You always dealt fair, Marshal. I'll tell you the truth.
Well, there's a deputy sheriff in town named Ben Quillen. He's got an Arizona warrant for Ike Abbott's arrest.
I thought so.
Was it murder, Hank?
That how that warrant reads, Marshal?
Mm-hmm.
Figured so. What else you want to know?
You still haven't told me why you put your gun away.
Done some thinking on the way back here. Knowed they'd sent somebody after me, but if I killed him, I'd just have to face you next. I wouldn't be getting nowhere that way.
All right, Hank. Come on, Chester, let's get back to town.
Well, Mr. Dillon, ain't we going to take Hank back to
I
Dodge?
said let's go, Chester. Morning, Chester.
Oh, morning, Mr. Dillon.
Ben Quillen been here yet?
Oh, I just got here myself.
Oh, didn't you sleep here last night?
Well, see... No, sir, I didn't.
Oh?
I ain't never going to set up all night playing poker again.
Oh, I was kind of hoping you'd maybe outgrown poker.
I'm getting there.
Morning, Marshal. Chester.
Quillen?
Morning, Quillen.
Well, Marshal, did he put up a fight?
No, there was no trouble.
But he is the man I'm after. He's Ike Abbott, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the man.
Well, I sure do thank you, Marshal. Now, if you'll turn him over to me, we'll be on our way, and I won't be bothering you no more.
I didn't bring him in, Quillen.
Why not?
And I guess maybe I didn't have the stomach to arrest a man who's been a friend. Who's never caused any trouble around here.
That don't keep him from being a murderer. And I've got a legal warrant for him.
Then you go get him.
I thought you didn't want no killing.
He isn't armed.
You've caused me to waste a whole day, Marshal.
Why don't you go get your man, Quillen, and get him out of here? I don't want any part of it.
You admit he's a friend of yours, Marshal. I just hope you're not trying to trick me somehow. Because I'll hold you responsible.
What's on your mind tonight, Matt?
Well, Kitty, it sure isn't drinking beer and sitting around the Long Branch.
You know, you sometimes act like you've been schooled in a slave market.
Drink your beer, Kitty. I'm buying.
Oh, you are? And I take it all back. Oh.
What?
Here's Ben Quillen. Now I know what's been bothering you.
Marshal, I want to talk to you.
Oh, what's your trouble, Quillen?
You gave me to believe there'd be no trouble with Hank Young, or whatever you call him.
Was there?
He wasn't armed, Marshal. At least you didn't lie about that.
And just what did I lie about, Quillen?
About them 4 friends of his.
What friends?
I don't like being made a fool of, Marshal. I don't like going after an unarmed man who's hiding behind 4 shotguns.
Oh, I see.
You trying to tell me you didn't know about it?
No, Quillen, I didn't.
You swear to that?
Now, you can take it or leave it.
All right, I'll believe you. Providing you ride out there with me. I can't face them men alone. It'd be suicide.
It's your party, Quillen. I'm not getting paid to make your arrests.
You wouldn't be scared, would you, Marshal?
I think we've talked just about enough, Quillen.
All right. I'll telegraph Prescott. I'll get me some authority for some deputies.
Wait a minute, Quillen.
What?
You meet me at the stable in the morning. I'll go with you.
Here they are, Marshal, waiting for us. How are we going to shoot it out against 4 men with shotguns, Marshal?
You just keep out of it, Quillen. Hello, Hank. Gentlemen.
This here ain't my idea, Marshal. The boys just heard about everything. I can't talk 'em out of a fight.
That's right, Marshal. Ain't nobody taking a friend of ours off to Arizona, warrant or no warrant.
Now listen, you men. Hank Young's a friend of mine, too. Isn't that right, Hank?
I always thought so, Marshal.
But you know me well enough. If any man needs taking in, I'll take him in.
Be kind of like walking into a cannon, won't it, Marshal?
Maybe. But more than one of us will die.
Now, hold on. I don't want a lot of blood spilled over me. Just 'cause I killed a man 12 years ago is no reason any of you men should die now.
Wait a minute. Quillen. What? You got that warrant with you?
Of course I have.
Let me see it. Well, come on, let me see it.
Well, I don't know what for.
Give it to me.
You seen it once. What are you looking for? Well, is something wrong with it?
Nah, it's legal, all right.
Then give it back.
Yeah. Hank, I've changed my mind about taking you today.
Now, wait.
Shut up, Quillen. Will you come into my office 3 days from now, Hank? We'll settle this thing then.
Okay, Marshal.
Sure, it's okay, Hank. We'll be right along with you. Won't we, boy?
We'll be right with you.
We ain't backing down one bit, Marshal. You better remember that.
Where are you listening to Gunsmoke? In your favorite easy chair? Or out driving? Oh, there you are. In the kitchen. Say, do you want to make whatever you're doing more enjoyable? Have a Chesterfield. Enjoy Chesterfield's better taste and mildness. It stands to reason a cigarette made better and packed better, smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. By Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
John, I've been waiting for you.
Let's go, Chester.
Did you finally get your telegraph?
Yeah, just in time, it looks.
I know. That's quite a crowd waiting for you. Think there'll be trouble?
Yeah, there could be.
Anything you want me to do?
No. You better wait here.
All right. But you be careful now. Them friends of Hank's sure look like they mean business.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Marshal, I've come in, like you said.
I know you would, Hank.
Let's get this over with, Marshal. I waited long enough.
You've waited too long, Quillen.
What?
Hank, I want your friends to wait across the street over there.
We ain't moving, Marshal.
All four of you go over there and wait.
Now, will you do what he says, Jim? Go on now. Jim, he ain't the kind of trick nobody.
I mean it, boys. I got going.
Well, come on, men. But we'll be watching.
Quillen, let me see that warrant.
You've seen it twice. Here. Well, ain't you gonna look at it?
I should have looked at it the first time.
Huh?
Close. I missed reading the date till Hank mentioned it was 12 years ago.
What's that got to do with it?
12 years is a long time, Quillen.
That warrant's still legal.
But it would have been forgotten by now if you hadn't have paid the sheriff in Prescott to go to the trouble to dig around and find it for you. And paid him something more to make you a deputy.
What are you saying?
I hate men like you who go out after other men just for the reward money. You're a professional manhunter, and that's the worst.
So? What are you?
I'm a lawman. I never collected a reward in my life.
Okay, do it your way, but I'm taking this man back.
I got word this morning from a friend of mine in Prescott, Quillen.
So?
He says what I thought about you. You don't often get back with your prisoners.
Huh?
Too much trouble, I guess. Too much expense. You'd shoot Hank here for trying to escape before you reach the Colorado line. But you'd still collect the reward.
You're getting a lot of ideas, Marshal.
I got a couple more. Hank?
Yeah, what, Marshal?
I hear there weren't any witnesses to that murder 12 years ago.
That wasn't no murder. Of course, I had to run anyway.
Yeah, the sheriff was an enemy of yours?
Well, I hear he's dead now.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a circuit judge here next week. I think we'll let him decide all this.
No, you don't, Marshal. You don't cheat
I'm
me.
sorry, Quillen. You're going to have to earn your money someplace else.
Marshal, I'm warning you.
This is the only copy of the warrant for Ike Abbott there is, isn't it?
You give me that.
I'm going to tear it up.
I'll kill you if you do.
Hank's only worth $500 to you, Quillen. You can find bigger game than him.
I said I'll kill you. You tear up that warrant.
Even you're not that big a fool, Quillen.
Don't do it, Marshal.
Somebody has to.
No!
You killed him, Marshal.
I misjudged him, Hank. He was worse than I thought.
What?
He wouldn't only kill a man for $500. He was willing to die for it himself.
In
In a moment, our star, William Conrad.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
A cigarette made better and packed better, smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips. Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
You know, on the frontier, men fought for fools' reasons like a spilt drink, and they fought for good reasons like fenced water. But next week, a man comes to Dodge who won't fight for any reason, and still wins his battle. And that was the West. Good night.
Gunsmoke. Produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, John Daner, and Ken Lynch. Harley Bear is Chester, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Live modern. Smoke L&M.
Live modern. Change to L&M.
Live modern. Smoke L&M. Only with L&M can you enjoy the full, exciting flavor of today's finest tobaccos. No other cigarette, plain or filter, gives you the full, exciting flavor you get through the pure white miracle tip. So light up, free up, let your taste come alive. Live modern. Smoke L&M. Join us again next week for another specially transcribed story on Gunsmoke.
I've made my feelings known how much I love this cast. They were a true cast that you felt like could have been back in the day. And, of course, they didn't have that Hollywood look to them. They looked really like a lot of the people you would think did look. The sheriff didn't necessarily have to be the big, fit man back in the day. And William Conrad looked the part of a gruff gunfighter turned sheriff. William Conrad, Gunsmoke. 69 years ago, Sunday, May 27th, 1956. Spend a moment here looking at the radio schedule from that night, and we see that CBS started with Indictment at 5 o'clock, followed by Raymond Burr in Fort Laramie. Then you had The Adventures of O'Hara at 6, Gunsmoke at 6:30. The Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy followed news at 6 o'clock. And then Our Miss Brooks at 8, following the news there, followed with Herb Schreiner and 2 for the Money, and then the hour-long Mitch Miller Show at 9 o'clock. And then Carousel, show tunes and film music for an hour at 10 before they went to a lot of their other things. Of course, NBC all weekend long had their Monitor program, and it looks like this weekend it was hosted by Dave Garroway. And that was basically it at that point in time. There was not much entertainment out there on apart from local stuff on either ABC or Mutual at the time on that point. But CBS was still putting it out. Unfortunately, they were the only ones at the time, although there were some great spots on Monitor at the time. There you have it. Coming up tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we have a lot of fun stuff ahead. On our Wednesday show, we will look at a Sunday, May 28th, 1950, with episodes of the Jack Benny program and the Phil Harris Alice Faye show. We'll have a 1946 edition of Fibber McGee and Molly, and we'll see what's going on in the Archie Andrews household as Dad's trying to take a nap. Shh. And then on Thursday, Father Knows Best from 1952, a half hour of Lum and Abner from 1949, and we'll spend time reminiscing about the life of Fred Allen in a 1956 production of Biography and Sound. On Saturday, we'll have 3 half hours dealing with crime, starting off with Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer in a 1948 episode of Counter Spy. We'll have a 1952 episode of This Is Your FBI and the Larceny Express. And then we'll have a 1939 rendition of The Green Hornet. And then we'll have a couple of shows in honor of Memorial Day. The 1954 program Anthology and a 1941 edition of Against the Storm. Saturday, radio's outstanding theater of thrills suspense, Ronald Coleman, in a 1945 production of August Heat. Let George Do It, starring Bob Bailey from 1948, The Island in the Lake. Cavalcade of America from 1943, Mr. Lincoln's Wife. And we'll wrap it all up with an episode of Dragnet, starring Jack Webb from 1951, The Big Bindle. We'll hear from the other FBI show on Sunday, the FBI in Peace and War from 1955, an episode of Suspense from 1958, Vincent Price starring in Rave Notice, a 1953 production of the Hall of Fantasy, and The Telltale Heart, and John Daner in Frontier Gentlemen, a show about school days. That's all coming up for the rest of the week here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, we'll hear from Jimmy Stewart, the six-shooter.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know your warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone or a series of short blasts, take cover immediately.
Jimmy Stewart had some wonderful thoughts on the six-shooter. NBC produced a promotional disc about this show in June of 1953. Stewart said, "I've made several stories of this kind for pictures, that is, honest, legitimate stories of the West, and I hope that this series can offer the same type of enjoyment with the same integrity." In a 1972 interview with Joan Bakewell for the National Film Theater, he talked about the six-shooter, said, "I did a radio series years ago called The Six-Shooter, a Western series. Unfortunately, it came out just when radio drama had gone out the window, so it wasn't a successful series." And in a 1986 interview with Larry King, he discussed his experiences with radio acting. He said he just fondly just gushed over the stuff. Suffice it to say that Jimmy Stewart liked the show, but he recognized, as so many of us do, that the time was past for a show like The Six-Shooter. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy it, because they were wonderful shows and some of the best examples of the medium. Let's go back to The Six-Shooter, starring Jimmy Stewart. This is from 71 years ago today, May 27th, 1954. The story is called Blood Relations.
In a moment, you'll hear James Stewart as the Six-Shooter, just one of many fine programs brought to you each week on NBC. Tomorrow night, there's top comedy entertainment with the Bob Hope Show, the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, and Can You Top This with Senator Ford. Bob Hope delivers rapid-fire comedy routines, while Phil Harris and Alice Faye bring both mirth and music. It's a great Friday night lineup of comedy programs, all of them heard only on NBC. James Stewart as the Six-Shooter. saddle is angular and long-legged. His skin is sun-dyed brown. The gun in his holster is gray steel and rainbow mother of pearl. Its handle unmarked. People call them both the six-shooter. The NBC Radio Network presents James Stewart as the Six-Shooter, a transcribed series of radio dramas based on the life of Britt Ponset, the Texas plainsman who wandered through the Western Territories, leaving behind a trail of still-remembered legends.
It was a little over 4 years since last time I worked for the Wilcox outfit, but when George Wilcox wrote me about his pa's death and said he needed somebody to handle the cattle drive east to Abilene, well, there weren't exactly any other demands on my services, so I headed up to Adobe Junction and rode through the town to the Wilcox Ranch a couple miles beyond. It was getting on toward evening when I pulled into the yard, and whoa, boy, whoa, Scar. Whoa. Only about 8 or 10 steers in the main corral over back of the house. Maybe George hadn't finished the roundup yet, or maybe he was going to start the drive from out on the range. Whatever it was, he'd have to get started pretty soon or the weather'd be against us.
Yes?
Good evening, ma'am. Is George Wilcox in?
Why, Mr. Ponson, don't you remember me?
What?
I'm Viola Wilcox, George's sister.
Viola No, you... Why, I just can't believe it.
Well, I guess I have changed since you last saw me.
Change? Why, gee, well, you've practically grown up overnight, Viola.
There are some folks around here who wouldn't agree with you, Mr. Ponset.
Oh?
Who is it, Vi?
It's Mr. Ponset, George.
Britt? Why, Britt, boy, you old rattlesnake. It's about time you turned up here.
How are you, George?
Pretty good, pretty good. Put on another plate, Vi. Britt will be here for supper.
Oh, I wouldn't like to impose. No, I mean, you probably weren't expecting me tonight.
Why, we've been expecting you for the last week. Vi's had the spare room ready since Monday.
Well, if you're sure there's enough food, Viola.
Oh, there'll be plenty, Britt. Matter of fact, I won't be eating supper at home tonight.
Now, Viola, I told you weren't...
I'll call you when everything's ready.
I guess we might as well wait in the parlor, Britt.
Sure. I hope I'm not too late for the drive, George.
Late?
Well, you said you'd been expecting me for several days, and I didn't see much stock in the corral.
Oh, the boys are still out on the roundup. They're a little late. I couldn't go out with them this year.
Well, that's all.
They'll probably show up sometime tomorrow, or Friday at the latest. You can start off then.
You won't be going long?
No. I'm going to stick around here.
Uh-huh. I was real sorry to hear about your father, George.
He went easy, Britt. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. You know, I just can't get over how Viola's changed. Why, she's turned out to be a real pretty young lady, hasn't she? I'll bet she's got more beaux than any other girl in the whole county.
She could have, I guess, if she wanted them.
What?
Britt, do you remember Jud Coffin?
Coffin?
He was that outlaw from up around Cloud City. You had something to do with capturing him, as I recollect.
Well, I was sort of in the neighborhood when it happened.
I was just a kid then, but Pa took me over to Cloud City to see Coffin's trial and the hanging afterward. I guess he figured it'd be a good lesson for me.
Uh-huh.
He was right, too. I never forgot it. There's something else I never forgot either. The way Jud Coffin looked. His eyes. His nose. Everything about him. He was born to be a killer. It was writ all over him.
No, I don't know now, George.
Well, I do. And now he's back here again.
Well, what are you talking about? Jud Coffin was hung. You saw it yourself. You just said so, George.
Jud had a brother. A few years younger. I don't remember his name, but I saw him at the trial, too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, now that you mention it, it seems to me there was another Coffin boy. What about him?
There's a young fella started working for the Mercantile in Adobe Junction, and if he ain't...
Be right there, Hank. Everything's on the table, George. Just stack the dishes when you finish eating, and I'll do them when I get home.
Now, you hold up a minute, Viola.
See you later, Britt. Night.
Come over here, Britt. Over here to the window.
What?
There he is in that buggy. Now, you take a good look.
Well, what's...
Now, don't he look just like Jud?
Well, it's been quite a while, George. I've sort of forgotten Jud Coffin.
Well, I ain't forgot him. I couldn't, not ever. I can still see him when they led him up to them gallows. I can still see his eyes, killer's eyes. And that's his brother out there riding away with my sister, ain't it? Well, ain't it?
Well, maybe he does sort of resemble Jud in a way, but why...
It's more than a resemblance, Britt. I've seen him up close. He's a spitting image.
Well, I don't see what difference it makes, George, unless he's been causing trouble, and even then...
Britt, he's only been around here for a couple of months. Just give him time. He'll cause plenty of trouble.
Maybe so. But now listen, George.
Britt, if a man's got bad blood in him, it's bound to come out sooner or later. It's bound to.
George, it seems to me a fellow ought not to be blamed for what his brother's done.
If he ain't up to something, then why don't he admit who he is?
What do you mean?
Says his name's Hank Wallace. Says he never heard of Jud Coffin.
Well, he ought to know.
He's lying, Britt. You saw the resemblance yourself.
Well, resemblance doesn't always prove anything, you know.
You think I want a man like that going around with my own sister? Why, she's barely 18. She don't know nothing about the world or about people. I'm all she's got now. I can't let her throw her life away on Jud Coffin's brother. I've got to stop her.
Yeah, I guess she is sort of your responsibility. But, George, how about that supper? I'm kind of hungry.
Hey, you go ahead, Britt. I ain't got much appetite.
Oh, all right.
Britt?
Yeah?
Maybe this sounds like I'm butting into Vi's business, but I got no choice. Just before he died, Pa warned me, told me what would happen.
No?
Britt, it wasn't 6 weeks after the funeral before she started going around with this fella. I tried to talk sense to her. It don't do no good. Now I gotta put my foot down. You understand how I feel, don't you, Britt?
Yes, George. Sure, I understand. Well, I went ahead and had some supper. Cold ham, potato salad with bacon in it, and stewed peaches for dessert. Wasn't anything exceptional, but it was filling enough. And afterwards, since George hadn't eaten anything, I decided maybe I'd go ahead and do the dishes. The dishpan was hanging right beside the sink, so I pumped some water in it. There was only a couple of plates and a cup to wash. But the handle on that cup just wasn't very substantial, and when it slipped, doggone it. Well, looked like it was beyond the gluing stage, so I kind of got the pieces swept together and put them in the garbage bucket. I wasn't exactly trying to hide them or anything like that, but, there were plenty of other cups in the cupboard. Anyhow, I walked back into the parlor and said goodnight to George and went upstairs to bed. I figured he was going to wait up for Viola, and I didn't suppose she'd like the idea, but it wasn't any of my business, so no. I was kind of tired anyway. And Viola sure didn't like it either. At least that's how it sounded to me when I woke up about 1 o'clock and heard her and George going at it, hammer and tongs in the downstairs hallway.
What I do or where I go.
I'm your brother, Viola.
Well, you're not my keeper.
He's no good. If he was, he wouldn't keep you out until all hours of the night.
Staying out was my idea. I didn't want to come home because I knew I'd have to sit here and listen to you.
Well, you're gonna listen. I told you who he was, but you wouldn't believe me. Now maybe you'll believe Britt.
Don't drag him into this, please. Please, George.
Britt? Britt, are you still awake?
George, I asked you not to.
Britt?
Yeah, what's the trouble?
Would you mind coming down here?
Well...
It'll only take a minute, Britt.
Well, all right, George. All right, give me a chance to put my pants on. I sure didn't like the idea of mixing into a family argument, but I didn't look like I was going to get any sleep till George had simmered down, so I pulled on my trousers and I slapped a little cold water in my face. Then I headed out in the hall. I could see Viola standing at the bottom of the stairs, and her face was real white, and her eyes were kind of wide open and determined. George was holding onto her arm.
I was running around with some girl
The way
in
his
town.
jaw was
Some girl
set,
who didn't
well,
have any respect.
he just as determined as she was.
my business.
Well, I do care. It's for your own good, Vi.
Well, good evening, Viola.
Mr. Ponset, I'm awful sorry that you have to get involved in this. And I'm ashamed, too.
Well, you ought to be.
Not for myself. I'm ashamed for you, George.
For me? I'm not running around with no outlaw disgracing my family. Britt, you tell her. Tell her who he really is.
Now, George, I never saw the man before in my whole life.
You noticed the resemblance right off, didn't you? You remarked on it. That man, Jud Coffin's brother, Vi.
Is that what you got Mr. Ponset down here to tell me?
Well, ain't that reason enough?
No, it's not enough.
He's been lying to you, pretending to be somebody else. Don't you care?
He hasn't lied to me, George. I know who he is. I've known it since we first met. He told me he was Hunt Coffin.
He told you?
He was afraid folks around here would hold it against him. That's why he changed his name. And it looks to me like he was right.
You knew who he was and you went right on seeing him?
Can't you understand, George? He's not to blame for something his brother did. They're two different people.
The same blood's in him that was in Jud Coffin. And he'll turn mean and pull the same kind of stunt his brother did, and he'll end up the same way.
Oh, that's crazy. Why, he doesn't even carry a gun. You've seen him often enough. You know he doesn't.
He can get a gun easy enough, and he will. The very first time he figures he needs one.
Mr. Ponset, won't you talk to George? Maybe you can make him see that I'm not a child, that I know my own mind.
Well, it seems to me we've all done enough talking for one night. Anyway, I sure could use a little more sleep. You know, things may look different in the morning. Don't you think so? You know.
Mr. Ponset's right. We'd better go to bed, too.
Things won't be any different tomorrow, Vi, not as far as I'm concerned. I'm telling you here and now, you're not to see young Coffin again, ever.
I'm going to marry him, George.
What?
I wasn't intending to tell you yet. I thought maybe later you'd come around. But I guess you never will. I promised him tonight.
Promised him? You don't know what you're saying, Vi.
George, let's go.
You're just doing this to spite me, ain't you? Well, I'll teach you.
I'm in love with him.
In love with a man like that? I'll slap some sense into you, but it takes me all night.
Hey, George, now get a hold of yourself.
You heard what he said, Brad. She's going to marry him. Well, she'll be singing a different tune before...
No, wait a minute.
Stay out of this, George. She's my sister.
I don't care whose sister she is. Now, let go of her. All right, now, George, come on. Let's go upstairs.
It's for her own good, Britt, what I done.
I guess you must have thought it was.
Someday she'll realize it was for her own good. She can't marry him, Britt. She just can't.
Well, treating her the way you did is apt to make her more set on it than ever.
She'll get over that idea fast enough now that she knows I mean business. Someday she'll thank me for slapping her.
Yeah. All right, let's get some sleep, George. Come on.
You are listening to The Six Shooter, starring James Stewart as Britt Ponset, the Texas plainsman whose name has become legend throughout the West. Now, Act 2 of the story called Blood Relations.
Well, it took me a little while to get back to sleep, but I didn't hear anything more out of George or Viola during the night, so that was something. When I finally woke up again, I just didn't feel like I'd had any rest at all. And it was late, too, nearly 6 o'clock. I got dressed and I went downstairs. Viola was fixing breakfast. Her eyes were sort of red, and there was a little splotch on her cheek where George had slapped her. But she didn't say anything about it, and I sure didn't see any point in opening up the subject, so... A couple of minutes later, George came in from doing his chores, and we all sat down at the table. He didn't eat much, just some coffee, and as soon as he was finished, he said he was riding out to the high grass to see if the roundup was on its way down. I offered to go along with him, and so we got on our horses and started off.
You see, Britt, what'd I tell you? She's all right now. She got that nonsense about young Coffin out of her head.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah, she didn't mention him again, did she?
No.
I reckon if she were still thinking about him serious, she'd have said so.
Yeah, well.
She's a Wilcox, Britt. We don't go around making fools of ourselves. Not for long, anyway.
We kept on riding for a couple of hours until we got to the high ground. But we didn't see any signs of the roundup, so finally we turned around and headed back to the ranch house.
I don't know what's taking them so long. They should have been down a couple of days ago.
Oh?
If they don't show up by morning, we'll have to start looking for them.
Oh, whatever you say, George.
Here we are. Whoa, Frenchie. Whoa, boy. Whoa. Hey, you know something, Britt? I've got kind of an appetite.
I don't doubt it, the way you've been eating lately. Easy, Scar. Easy.
Well, I'll sure make up for it this noon. I wonder what she's fixed for us. Vi? We're back, Vi. Must be out in the kitchen. That's funny. Vi?
Oh, just a minute, George.
Oh, she's upstairs. That's why she didn't hear me. How about some food, Vi?
Why, I didn't know you'd be here. You didn't say anything when you left.
I'm usually here for dinner, ain't I?
Yeah. Well, it'll take a couple of minutes to get something ready. I just got back from town.
You what?
Well, I guess I'll go wash up.
What were you doing in town, Vi?
I wanted to see Hunt.
Oh. Well, I suppose you did have to explain things to him. I guess he was entitled to that much. How'd he take it? When you told him you couldn't marry him.
I didn't tell him that, George. We're going to get married as soon as we can. He's coming to get me tonight.
Well, I sure didn't feel like sticking around for another one of their arguments, so I sort of sneaked out the front door and climbed into the saddle. Let's go, boy. Come on. I figured I'd ride in town and get me something to eat while I was at it. Maybe while I was gone, George and Viola would come to some sort of an understanding. At least I hoped they would. It took me about 30 minutes to reach Adobe Junction. Looked like there was only one cafe. Molly's Home Cooked Meal. Right next door to the Mercantile. Whoa, boy. Whoa, Scar. Whoa. Tossed the reins over a hitching rail and started into the restaurant.
Mr. Ponset? You're Britt Ponset, ain't you?
That's right.
Viola told me what you looked like, but I'd have recognized you anyway.
Oh?
You're a six-shooter. I've heard a lot about that gun. How fast you are with it. My brother, he found out firsthand.
Your brother?
Jud Coffin.
I see.
My name is Hunt Coffin, Mr. Ponset.
Yeah, I sort of figured that.
I just wanted you to know I sure do appreciate what you did last night, taking Viola's part with George.
Well, George was pretty upset. I don't think he meant to carry on that way. He's real fond of his sister when you get right down to it.
If he ever hits her again, I'll kill him.
Well, I guess you and Viola won't have to worry much about George any longer.
What do you mean?
Well, she says you're going to get married right away. You're coming out after her tonight, is that right?
She told you that?
Well, sure. That's true, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't want him to know. He'll try to stop us. I told her not to say anything. We could have been gone before he ever found out.
Now, Viola's not the kind of a person to do a thing behind anybody's back.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's something else he ought to know. I bought me a gun this morning, Mr. Ponset.
Is that so?
I'll be out at the Wilcox place as soon as I get off work tonight. And I'll have the gun with me.
Uh-huh. And George said you'd get a gun the first time you figured you needed one.
Well, he was right.
Yeah? It sure looks like he was. Well, so long, Coffin.
What in thunder happened to you, Brett?
Oh, I thought maybe you and Viola ought to have a chance to talk this out in private, so I rode in town.
You needn't have bothered.
Huh?
Tried to talk to her, but she just wouldn't listen.
She wouldn't, huh?
I don't know what to do, Brett. I just don't. After last night, I thought she'd see things my way. I guess you were right. She's more set in marrying him now than ever. If Paul was still alive, he'd find some way of stopping her. I guess I'm letting him down.
Well, where's Vi now?
Upstairs, packing. I thought about locking her in her room, but it just wouldn't do no good. Besides, she ain't to blame, not really.
That's right, George. A person just can't help
His fault. Everything that's happened. And it's him I'm going to take care of.
As a matter of fact, I ran into Hunt Coffin while I was in town.
You saw it?
Yeah, we had a little chat. He's kind of upset about what happened last night.
He's upset. He'll have something to get upset about if he comes around here tonight.
Well, maybe you ought to know, George. He's got himself a gun.
There. What'd I tell you? Just like his brother. Why? Why, your friend's coming out here with a gun. He means to kill me. A man who'll take up a gun once, he won't stop, not as long as he lives. Now what do you think of it?
Viola didn't answer George. She just stayed upstairs and went on with whatever she was doing. George walked into the hall. I heard him rummaging around in the closet. And he was gone for a minute or so, and then he came back into the parlor. He was carrying his pa's old Winchester rifle. He jammed some cartridges into the magazine and stared out of the window. The sun was just beginning to drop behind the hills to the west, and the shadows on the slopes were turning orange. And George pulled up a chair and sat down. The rifle was lying on his lap, the barrel pointing toward the open window beside him. George?
Yeah?
You use that gun, you'll be doing the very thing you accuse him of.
There's a difference, Brett. This is my property. Pa left it to me outright.
Sure.
If Hunt Coffin sets foot on it, he's trespassing. I got a right to shoot a trespasser, ain't I?
No, you haven't. Not under these circumstances.
You gonna interfere? You gonna take his side?
I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm riding into town, and I won't be back. You'll have to hire somebody else to handle your cattle drive.
Suits me. I'll be able to handle the cattle myself now. I won't have to stay here after tonight.
You know, George, he might kill you. Leastwise, if he takes after his brother, there's a good chance of it.
Well, it looks like you're going to be around for it, whatever happens.
What?
There he is now, pulling into the yard.
Coffin! Get out of here, Coffin! I don't want no trouble, Wilcox. Well, then start moving. I'm taking Viola with me. You're not taking anybody!
I could see Hunt Coffin through the window over George's shoulder. He was climbing down from his buggy. Looked like he was carrying a .44 in his holster. George Wilcox stood up. His back shut off my view of Hunt. He shoved the stock of his rifle against his shoulder, and his finger curled around the trigger. He shifted his weight onto one foot, and I got a glimpse of Hunt again. His right hand was inching toward that .44, but he hadn't pulled it out yet.
I'm coming in and get her, Wilcox. Go on and draw. I know you got a gun. Go on, use it. I don't think I'll need it.
I gave him a chance. You heard me, Brett. He
There
wouldn't
wasn't
take
much
it. You
time
heard
to
him.
answer him. His finger was already squeezing back. There wasn't even time to get over to him. I grabbed for my gun. The bullet hit him right in the arm, spun him half around. For a second, I didn't know what had happened. I hadn't fired at him. I hadn't even had a chance to finish drawing. And then I saw a little spiral of smoke on the hall stairs behind him.
Viola.
Put down that rifle, George.
You're crazy, Vi.
Vi! Are you all right?
Stay there, Hunt. I'll be right out. Put it down, George. Now, I'm going away with Hunt. And if you come after me, it won't be Hunt who will stop you. Kind of funny, isn't it? You always said Hunt would turn out bad because his brother was that way. And they both had the same blood in them. What about it, George? Would you be willing to shoot me?
What are you talking about, Vi? You know I'd never do a thing like that.
Why not? I was willing to shoot you. We've got the same blood, haven't we? Goodbye, George. Goodbye, Mr. Ponce.
So long, Vi. Good luck.
Upward. Up.
She wasn't making any sense, Britt, asking if I'd shoot her. Why, that's just plain foolishness.
Yeah, well, I'll take you into town, George. You better see the doc about that arm.
My own sister. My own flesh and blood. I sure had her figured wrong.
Well, maybe you had young Coffin figured wrong, too. Come on, let's go. Well, the next morning the boys brought in George's herd, and what with that arm of his and all, I agreed to drive them north. It was nearly 3 months before I got back to Adobe Junction again. Viola and Hunt, they were married and had a little house in town. But George, he hadn't been near me. Hadn't said a word to Vi since that night she left the ranch. Vi was kind of upset about it, but she kept telling herself that sooner or later George would see where he'd been wrong and he'd come around. I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he will.
The Six Shooter is a transcribed NBC Radio Network production in association with Review Productions. It is written by Frank Burt and is based on a character created by him. Mr. Stewart may currently be seen in the Universal International picture The Glenn Miller Story. Others in the cast were Barbara Eiler, Herb Ellis, and Sam Edwards. Special music for this program was by Basil Adlam, and the entire production is under the direction of Jack Johnstone. All characters and incidents were fictitious, and any resemblance to actual characters or incidents is purely coincidental. Oh, by the way, you'll be interested in knowing that the Six Shooter has been chosen for broadcast to our men overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Services. This is John Wall speaking. Donald Carey stars in Jason and the Golden Fleece tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
I mentioned that Jimmy Stewart did an interview with Larry King. This is from May 16th, 1986. Let's listen to the late Larry King talking with the late Jimmy Stewart now about how much he loved working radio drama.
You did a lot of Lux radio theaters and stuff, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I used to love radio. And I still do. But in those days, radio was so important, and the movies used for instance, Lux Radio Theater. Lots of times they would dramatize an upcoming movie on Lux Radio Theater, just to sort of almost doing a preview of the movie. And I've done an awful lot of radio. I had a radio series that turned into the Six Shooter television series, but I'm a great booster of radio.
Is it a different kind of acting when you only have the voice to use?
I don't think so. I don't think so very much. As I say, they used to, in the Lux Radio Theater, they used to use the stories of pictures that were just coming out and use it as sort of a build-up for the picture when it's released. But some pictures, I know this picture Winchester 73 that is one of these ones that's coming out in home video. They sent that over to the Lux Radio people, and they sent back and they said, well, we can't use this because nobody says anything. And when you come right down to it, this is true in Westerns. That's right. That's one of the things I like about them and everything. No, it's visual, it's action, and nobody says very much.
Jimmy Stewart with Larry King back in April 16th, 1986, talking about the show you just heard, The Six Shooter, and a lot of his work on radio. Wonderful. 71 years ago, May 27th, 1954, The Six Shooter here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. If you like what we do, stop by classicradio.stream, make a purchase there, find something that you like, or if you want to just help, do what some nice people have done and buy me a coffee. That's over at classicradio.stream. Up next, we'll leave the Western genre and get to some hep stuff, as we hear from an episode of Suspense from 63 years ago, May 22nd, 7th, 1962.
Listen and learn through civil defense. This is Johnny Cash. I'd like all of you to remember that America can withstand enemy attack if we support the emergency plans of our community and learn to help ourselves. Make sure you're prepared. Contact your local civil defense office today.
Suspense sometimes dabbled in things that were not always tremendously serious. They dealt with some science fiction and fantasy and comedy near the end of its run, and that's what we're going to hear today. An episode of Suspense from 63 years ago, May 27, 1962, entitled That Real Crazy Infinity.
And now, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. In a moment, Act One of That Real Crazy Infinity, starring Jack Grimes and Richard Holland, and written especially for Suspense by Dick W. Dowling.
What do we do now, man?
Oh, I don't know. Gotta dig up some loot somewhere. They still got our horns.
Yeah, but do we blow them or hock them?
We're gonna find a hock shop in this town.
Oh, man, this is a real drag.
Yeah. All I want now is to get back to New York. What we need is one fast gig that pays enough bread for traveling expenses.
Why don't we check with that tomato behind the counter and see what the scoop is around here?
Crazy. Hey, baby.
Yeah, what'll it be, gents?
2 more coffees, please, huh?
You got 'em.
Hey, honey, what's the best way to pick up a fast buck in town here?
Make a fast grab.
Yeah, this kid is not a Lenny Bruce.
Oh, just a touch of humor, boys. Say, what kind of work can you do?
Well, we're musicians. We like to earn bus fare back to New York.
Well, ain't much call for musicians around here, except maybe for church socials now and then.
Wow.
Any other kind of work?
Well, there's strawberry picking over at Tanner's farm.
Yeah, no, thanks. By the way, when is the next bus to New York, huh?
Oh, never. Leastwise, not from here. You gotta go clear over to Centerville, about 60 miles.
Ooh, any chance of getting a lift with somebody?
Ain't likely this time of night. Well, maybe in the...
Pardon me, Jenny. I couldn't help overhearing these gents in their predicament. Maybe I can help.
This here's Charlie Olden, runs the radio shop in town here. Got TV, too.
Oh, that must be a gas.
Yeah, pleased to meet you, Charlie. I'm Bud. This is Lou.
Likewise. Hi. Now, as I see it, you gents could use a couple of dollars and a place to sleep, right?
Right.
Well, I can supply you with both, if you'll do me a little favor in return.
Listen, Clyde, what's the little favor?
Some electronic equipment just came in from New York on special order, and I got to deliver it to a place just out of town. Now, if you boys...
Doggone it, Charlie. I knew you was leading up to that, and I won't let you do it. Pay him no mind here, Jim.
No, you just mind your dishes,
I
Jenny.
will not. You got no right tricking these here strangers.
I ain't tricking them. I'm willing to pay.
You mean you'll pay us to deliver this electronic equipment?
Yeah. $10 between you, and I'll drive you halfway.
Why halfway?
Aha. Now you're asking, stranger. Go on, tell him why, Charlie. I dare you.
Oh, hush up, Jenny. You're worse than my mother-in-law.
All right, what's the gimmick?
No gimmick at all, gents.
Voices from the grave.
What are you talking about, baby?
Voices from the grave. If you do like Charlie says, you'll walk in the land of the dead.
You know this broad is starting to bug me.
Look, let's have a straight story here, huh?
All right, then don't listen to Jenny none. She's like everybody around here. She's scared of nothing at all.
Seems like you're the one scared to live the stuff yourself.
Oh, I ain't no such thing. It's just that I just want to get home early tonight for a change.
Where do we deliver this equipment to?
Just outside town. Norville Hagen's place.
Well, what's with this Hagen? Is he some kind of kook?
Oh, no. He's right friendly. He's just maybe, a little different.
About as different as Dracula.
Oh, now, Jenny, you know that's just a lot of silly talk. You gents want to make that $10 or not?
Well, how about it, Lou?
Well, we need some bread, man, but, I don't dig the Dracula bit.
Look, Lou, suppose this guy Hagen is a flip. There's going to be 3 of us and only 1 of him, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Look, we got nothing to lose, and we need the bread. Even if it's only 10 beans, I say we do it. Are you with me?
All right, man, but the first time this gig starts to look flaky, I am cooling it.
Good man, Lou. All right, Mr. Olin, you got a deal.
Oh, fine, boys, fine. Now, let's get started. It's getting late.
Sure is an out-of-the-way place.
Yeah, old Norville likes his privacy.
He likes bumpy roads, too.
Oh, Norville don't care. He never comes into town. He just sends down for food and electronic supplies about once a month. Here we are.
Here we are? Where?
All I see is the side of a cliff.
There's a wooden stairway with a handrail. Leads all the way up. Now, let's get the box out of the car.
Kind of dark here, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Now, grab the other end of this box, Lou, and walk straight ahead. You'll come to a stairway.
Man, what's in here, rocks?
Here's the stairway. Now, set it down.
All right, now what?
You fellas start up the stairs. I gotta get something from the car.
Okay, grab that end, Lou.
But how far up do we have to go, man?
We'll see.
Hey, what's he doing?
The money's in your coat pocket. So long, gents, and good luck.
Hey, wait a minute! Hey,
It happened again, man. We're blowing a chorus with no lead.
Oh, we'll never find our way back down there. Well, there's only one place to go. Grab the box, Lou, and let's start climbing.
More coffee, gentlemen?
No, thanks, Professor. 2's my limit.
And you, sir?
Everything is cool, man.
Oh, well, then I shall make some hot coffee for you.
No, man. I mean never mind.
Very well. Well, I'd like to thank you again for bringing my electronic supplies, and I hope you'll be my guests overnight.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. We don't have a car.
Oh, I assume Mr. Olin drove you here?
Uh-huh. Good old Charlie.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know how happy I am to get this equipment. I must replace some tubes in my Infiniphone. It hasn't been working for several days, and I've missed my classical concerts.
You dig classical music?
Oh, yes. I love the old masters. I think of them as dear friends.
I studied a little classical piano when I was a kid. I don't remember much past The Happy Farmer, though.
Oh, yes. Well, then I must repair the Infiniphone immediately and let you both enjoy some of the great masterworks.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a gasser.
Do you have many records, Professor?
Oh, no, none at all. With the Infiniphone, I don't need records.
I see, it's a radio.
No, not exactly. It's my own invention.
Oh.
Let me explain it to you.
Mm-hmm.
All the sound in our world gradually becomes inaudible and trails off into infinity. I've simply created a machine for tuning into infinity.
Uh-huh.
Yes. This way I can hear great masterworks in their original form, exactly as they were played centuries ago. Do you understand?
Man, I lost you back there when you were going to heat some more coffee.
Yeah, I think I understand, Professor. You just tune into infinity and pick up sounds of the past, right?
Yes, that's it, exactly.
Well, that must be an interesting hobby.
Oh, it's more than that. You see, the classics are my life. As a child, I wanted to be a great musician, but, well, I'm a scientist instead.
Well, that's how the chorus goes.
Yes. I confess I don't understand much about life in our modern society. Out there in the world, I never seem to do or say the right things. I was considered rather odd.
Well, the world out there is pretty simple, Professor. It's just one big scramble for bread.
Bread?
Yeah, man, like, loot, money.
Oh, yes, I guess that is important.
Yeah, I guess it is. Like, I guess we have to breathe.
It's the most unpleasant part of life for me, or was. I really don't care anymore. I may soon become part of the great classical past I love so well.
What do you mean, Professor?
I mean, well, all in good time. And now, would you like to see and hear the Infiniphone?
Oh, sure, Professor.
Good. Well, follow me, gentlemen.
We're not going with him, are we? That guy is flipped. He's flaky.
Let's go along with the gag. Maybe we can hype him out of something that's worth selling.
Yeah, but what do we want to hype a poor old guy like that for?
We're broke is why.
Oh.
Besides, if we play our
Are you coming, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We wouldn't miss this for the world.
By plugging the patch cord into the side panel terminal and turning the selector dial, we can choose any past century or era we wish. Well, go ahead, gentlemen. Try it.
Oh, that's okay, man. I'm a believer.
He said try it. Now go ahead and try it.
Okay.
I've set it for about 46 BC. Now, tune it in.
Et conscriptus populus mandatus est mihi Caesaris dux, Caesaris rex.
Like, what was that, man?
I'm afraid it's Julius Caesar again. He's always making speeches.
You mean that was the actual voice of Julius Caesar?
Oh, yes. I recognize him immediately.
Oh, yeah, all right. I'll bite. What's the gimmick?
But there is no gimmick. That's how the Infiniphone works. Well, it's really not so amazing, gentlemen. Why, my new invention, the Infinite Transitor, can actually... well, that can wait. Perhaps if I tune in a later period on the Infiniphone.
Hey, man, this cat sounds familiar.
Dear. I should get something worthwhile.
Don't. That's Berrigan. I know that sound anywhere.
Yeah, that's funny. But I never heard this record before.
Oh, that's no record. That's Berrigan himself. Oh, what a crazy chorus. He's blowing his heart out. Prop, can we record this?
Why, yes, but I don't see why you...
We gotta record it.
Well, it's simple enough. Press that button on the side of the panel. That's it. Yes. It starts a tape recorder in the next room. I'll make sure the machine starts.
Dad, what are you doing this for?
Don't you get it? This'll be the greatest discovery in the history of jazz. We'll be able to name our price with any record company in the country, and we'll never run out of materials. Lou, we're rich.
Yeah, but what about the professor?
He'll never know the difference.
Yeah, but what if he digs what we're doing? We'll blow the whole bid, man.
Then we'll cut him in.
The tape machine is working perfectly.
Crazy.
Now, I hope you gentlemen will excuse me. I must get back to work on my Infinite Transitor.
You sure? You go right ahead, Professor. Lou, stop worrying. This is it. From here on in, we swing, man. No more crummy club dates, no lousy one-nighters. We're rich, man. We're rich. Hey, Lou, watch the volume of that tape machine. The needle's kicking way over.
Oh, man. Listen to that man blow.
Lou, will you pay attention?
Oh, blow, Prince. Oh, listen to that.
Watch the needle on that machine, Lou. Lou, will you take off those headphones and just watch the needle, huh?
Oh, sorry, Bud. Oh, but, man, dig that phrasing. Oh, go, man. Go.
You're going to go right out that window. You loused up 2 recordings this week. Come on, Lou, get with it.
Well, gentlemen, another pleasant dinner, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And now we pour the tea. Lou?
Oh, thank you.
And Bud?
Swell, thanks.
And myself.
Peachy.
Now, my pipe. You know, gentlemen, it's been some time since I really enjoyed my pipe this way. I must say it's been pleasant having you with me these past few weeks.
Well, we're glad we came.
I'd almost forgotten what it was like to have people around. You know, my neighbors aren't very neighborly. Perhaps that's just as well. They'd probably think me strange. In any case, I won't be around much longer.
You don't mean you're leaving here, Professor?
Yes, I do, Bud.
Yeah, well, what about the Infiniphone?
I don't know. I'll have no need for it, but I'm not sure I should leave it behind. It might do more harm than good. No, I haven't decided yet.
But, Professor, think of the pleasure you can give the world.
Well, if it can give the world as much pleasure as it seems to have given you and Lou, I might be inclined to leave it here. Lou especially seems entranced by the music he's been listening to and recording. Hey, Lou?
Yeah, Lou, you listening?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, sure.
You seem to have found something you like.
Something I like, man, I'm stoned. I never heard such wailing in my life. Bunny and the bird, Prez and the rest, I would give up the best gig in the world just to sit in with those cats. For kicks. No bread, man, just kicks.
Yeah, and that, Professor, is why I'm the one who has to worry about the bread. My boy Lou here is just living for kicks.
You're not a dreamer, Bud, and Lou is.
Well, dreamers aren't doers. And doers are the cats who get things done.
Yes, of course. But every now and then, one of us dreamers gets things done, too. Well, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I'll get back to my work inside.
Mm-hmm. You hear what he said?
Yeah, he's leaving.
Yeah, well, you know what happens if he does. We're out of business, especially if he takes the Infiniphone with him. And we better get a lot of taping done, and soon.
Yeah. You know what? There's something way out about the way he talks about leaving.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's like he's happy. Like the way Prez used to look when he was blowing a great chorus, you know?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'm blowing a great chorus right out of here, and you're going to stay and make tapes all day.
Where are you going?
I'm going in and see Max Wesson at Flip Records. And I'm taking a small sample of our music with me.
What for?
Well, I'm going to offer him exclusive rights to a recently discovered collection of recordings by the late and legendary figures of jazz. A collection that's out of this world. Well, Max?
It's out of this world. It's out of this world. All right. What's the gimmick?
Well, there's no gimmick, Max. It's legit. This is for real. This music, that's the McCoy.
Yeah, I know that, but how did you get it?
All right, I'll admit it. It was dumb luck. I found the recordings in some tank town and bought them for peanuts.
That figures, I guess. All right, what's the deal?
$25,000 plus 25% of gross sales and a spot on your A&R staff for me and my partner.
That is highway robbery.
Is it a deal?
Well, okay. But you got to bring me enough of this stuff to make it worth my while.
Don't worry, Max. My partner's taking care of that right now. Lou, we're in. It's all set. Okay, Lou, put down your axe for a minute, will you? I want to talk. Yeah, Lou, do you hear me? What's wrong with you?
Man, I just made it. I almost goofed, but I just made it.
Just made what? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, I almost started looking forward to recording that stuff and selling it.
What do you mean almost? It's all set. We're rich, and we got steady jobs besides.
Without me, man, without me.
What, are you nuts? What's wrong?
I was listening to some jazz on the Infiniphone. This cat he's blown his heart out, see? And I figured, well, there's no kicks in selling somebody else's jazz. I want something of my own.
You'll have something of your own, a big fat bank account.
Oh, anybody can have that. But not everybody can blow a chorus with Prez or Bunny.
Hey, Lou. Lou, baby, what are you, chewed up or something? Hey, Clyde, where's the tape you made today, huh?
I'm not sure I made one.
You what?
I started the tape, and then I heard those cats swinging, and I picked up my horn and joined in. I guess the tape is still running.
Oh, no. You gotta be kidding.
Pardon me, gentlemen. I have come to say goodbye.
Goodbye?
Yes, Lou. Everything is ready now.
Where are you going, Professor?
To become part of the great classical past I love so well.
I don't dig you, sir.
I've completed my infinitransiter. In a few minutes, I shall be transported back into the past.
Are you kidding?
I think not, Bud. I hope not. I'm counting on it, so...
Oh, boy.
Well, gentlemen, goodbye. And thank you once again for your kindness. I shall never forget you.
Professor Hagen.
Yes, Lou.
Just how far back do you expect to go?
Lou, are you nuts?
Well, as far back as I wish, I suppose. Why?
Well, what I mean is, could you drop me off in the 30s?
Has everybody flipped around here?
Well, we could certainly try, Lou.
Crazy. Wait till I pack my act.
Lou, this is ridiculous.
Maybe, man, but I gotta find out.
Oh.
Bud, this is so long. I'm gonna kind of miss you. We've been pals a long time, and you've always been on the level with me, and, so long.
Yeah, sure, Lou. Well, I'll see you in 10 minutes when you come back, huh?
Goodbye, Bud, and good luck.
Yeah, sure. Later, man, later.
Bud, I hope you find something you really dig, and when you do, man, play it cool. So long, pal.
Oy, doesn't this beat everything? The two of them are flipped. I don't know who's nuttier, the Professor or Lou. Oh, man, I hope he got something on that tape. Yeah, give him a few minutes out there, and then Well, the papers gave it quite a play. They said mad professor and musician die in explosion. I woke up here in the hospital. There was nothing left of the professor's place. Not a trace of the professor or Lou. It's a funny thing, though. Lou did make that tape before he left. He taped his own solos. And here's the gas. All the jazz critics claim it's the greatest stuff they ever heard. Yeah, I'm going to make a bundle of loot on Lou's recordings. Somehow I just don't care. It doesn't seem important. All I can think about is poor old Lou. Well, I hope he's having a ball out there in that real crazy infinity.
Suspense. You've been listening to That Real Crazy Infinity, starring Jack Grimes and Richard Holland, and written especially for Suspense by Dick W. Dowling. Suspense is produced and directed by Bruno Zerato Jr. Music supervision by Ethel Huber. Sound patterns by Joseph Cabibbo. Heard in tonight's story were Court Benson as Professor Norval Hagen, Bob Dryden as Charlie Olin, Athena Lord as Jenny, Robert Reddick as Max Wesson, and Guy Rep as the voice of Julius Caesar. This is Stuart Metz speaking. Listen again next week when we return with Stand-In for Murder, written by Gladys F. Gallant. Another tale well calculated to keep you in Suspense.
63 years ago, May 27th, 1962, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce, the couple next door, will be up in just a moment.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your civil defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
You can get a copy of that book in the show notes. Click on the link there or go to classicradio.stream and get the book totally free. Right now, Peg Lynch, Alan Bunce, the couple next door from 63 years ago today, May 27th, 1960.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
For goodness sakes, what are you doing in the house on such a nice day? I thought you'd be out working in the yard since you got home so early.
I went over the mail that came today, and I found this.
Why?
Take a look at it. Third notice, it says. Third notice. Now, why wasn't that paid?
Well, I don't know, dear. What is it? Let me see. Fraley Appliance Company.
Yes, our washing machine. Didn't you have it repaired?
Yes, and I paid the bill. I remember writing the check.
Darling, apparently you didn't pay the bill. There it is. Look,
Yeah.
third notice. I mean, after all, what kind of a credit rating do you think I'll have if we don't pay our bills?
I paid it. I know I did. I remember writing the check.
Yeah, well, so you say, but I can't even find the checkbook. Where's the checkbook?
Checkbook.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Oh, honey, why don't you have a special place to keep the checkbook?
I do have a special place to keep the checkbook in the top left-hand desk drawer.
Well, it's not in the top left-hand desk drawer. In fact, as far as I can figure out, it's not in any desk drawer.
Well, that's funny. Let me look.
I just looked. It's not there.
May I look?
Sure.
Please? All right. Just move out of the way,
Well, all
please. Now,
Go on. I'm telling you right now, it's not there, so...
well, this is where I keep it. Well, I don't know. Don't look like that. It's usually right here. This is where I keep it.
Well, since it obviously is not there, where do you think it might be?
I don't know. This is where I always keep it. Ever since you raised that terrible fuss about keeping the checkbook in a special place, I've made a point of always putting the checkbook back in this drawer when I got through writing a check.
Well, darling, I don't like to keep repeating myself, but obviously the checkbook is not in this drawer. Apparently, there was one time you did not make a special point of putting it back. You know, there's a law of physics that says the checkbook is not going to get up and walk away out of that drawer all by itself.
Is that physics?
Oh, honey, would you look around for the checkbook, please? Well, for Pete's sakes, what are you doing out here in the kitchen peeling potatoes?
Peeling potatoes. I thought since you were home early, we'd have an early dinner.
Darling, I asked you to look for the checkbook.
Oh,
I've been sitting in the den there waiting and waiting. I thought you were looking for the checkbook all this time.
I forgot, dear. I was looking for it, and I guess I came out to the kitchen to look. And then I remembered I'd better defrost the lamb chops, and then I thought, well, I'll peel the potatoes as long as I'm out here. And one thing led to the other, and I'm sorry. Oh, don't look so cross. Now,
Well, I don't like getting a third notice to pay for the repairs on our washing machine. I told you, this is the kind of thing that ruins a credit rating. I mean, since we've always paid our bills.
Indeed, we have, just as we paid this one. Now, I don't know what the Fraley Appliance Company thinks they're doing sending us a bill. I remember writing a check ages ago. And if you ask me, I suspect they've got some new girl in their office down there who doesn't know what she's doing.
Well, darling, if you will please find your checkbook, I would like to examine your check stubs. Now, come on, will you finish the potato peeling later?
Look
Go
on
look
now,
for
dear,
the
my
checkbook.
hands are all wet.
Go on. All right, here. Here is a paper towel. Here, now wipe your hands and look for the checkbook.
I looked for the checkbook. I found the small one. I keep in my purse, but you mean the big one, don't you, with 3 checks to a page?
I mean the one you use to pay the household bills.
Well, I don't know where else to look, dear. I looked upstairs. I looked all over the living room, in the dining room, in the front hall. It's not in the kitchen here. I always keep it in that top left-hand drawer. I mean, if it's not there, I just do not know where it is, that's all.
For the umpteenth time, it's not in the top left-hand desk drawer. That we know. Now, before I call the repair shop and swear up and down and get into a thing with them that we paid the bill, I would like to make sure that we paid the bill. Now, I'd like to call them today before they close. I'd like to get this matter settled.
Well, I know I wrote the check.
Oh, find the checkbook, please.
Here it is, dear. I found the checkbook.
You found it?
Yeah.
Oh, where? Where'd you find
Come
it?
in the living room. Come here.
In the living room,
Yeah, come on in here.
Would you mind telling me?
In the bookcase. Right here.
In the bookcase?
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me what the checkbook was doing in the bookcase?
No, it wasn't doing anything, dear. It was just sitting there between 2 other books, 7 Men by Max Beerbaum and Short Stories by Frank O'Connor.
Well, actually...
At least I don't think the little checkbook was doing anything. Unless it was deliberately hiding from us just to be playful.
Oh,
there it was, right?
Give it here. Give it here.
May I go finish peeling potatoes?
No. Just a minute while I look up the check stub.
Actually, I suppose what happened, since it looks like a thin book, I imagine Mrs. Tenney picked it up when she was cleaning, and just tucked it in the bookcase, thinking,
All right. Now, when do you think you might have written the check?
Well, let me think.
I'll figure it out.
Well, I don't know. Around the 1st of the month, I suppose, when the bills come in. I can't see how they could be sending us a 3rd notice anyway. I had that washing machine repaired. Well, let me see now. It was April 1st. April Fool's Day, don't you remember? When Betsy played that joke on us about the water being turned off and I had to wash clothes frantically, you remember? Oh, you remember that.
Yes.
Had
All
someone
right,
phone Jimmy Allen call you.
Well, if you wash clothes that day, the machine must have been working
It
that
was
day.
repaired the day before, the last day of March. It was the weekend we went up to the family reunion to Grace Bernadine's wedding, and I couldn't do the laundry until the day we left, don't you remember? I'd had the washing machine repaired the day before.
Well, look, if the bill came the 1st of May, as you say, even if you didn't pay it, we shouldn't be getting a 3rd notice, don't you see? Well, I mean, after all...
I said it's probably some new girl they've got in the office there, dear.
Oh, look at this. Look at these check stubs. Now I ask you, would you just look at them?
I filled them out.
You filled them out? This is what you call filling them out?
Well...
Oh, sweetheart, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, honestly. I mean it. Ever since we've been married, I've been after you and after you to fill out check stubs properly. Now, just what more can I do to get you to do it?
What is it you want to know? I understand them.
You do?
Yes. Now, take this check stub, for example. Now, do you mean you can't figure out what that means? Just try.
All right. Well, there's no number on the check to begin with.
Oh, it's one more than the one ahead of it. Look back.
There's no number on the one ahead of it.
Well, keep going back. It's easy enough to fill those in, for goodness sake.
Oh, then, honey, why don't you do it?
Well, I will. I just forgot. Now, never mind the numbers of the checks. I want you to see that this check stub right here is perfectly clear.
Oh. Well, no date, just the figure 11.
Well, I wrote it on the 11th then.
11th of what? What year?
Well, obviously the 11th of May this year. Is there anybody who would think it was the Ides of March, 44 B.C.?
Oh, I don't know. But I tell you, if archaeologists dig up this checkbook 6,000 years from now, there'll certainly be a violent controversy over who the check was made out to. Not that it matters, I suppose, but if historians do try to figure out how we common people lived in the old atomic age, you could spare them a lot of headaches in the future and spare me one in the present. If you...
You think husbands have gone through this, dear, for centuries?
I'm sure they have. All
so?
these hieroglyphics that archaeologists are now trying to decipher. Believe me, I am convinced they are merely garbled household accounts that drove some poor husband wild.
I can hear him. Look at this clay tablet. I can't even read it. Now, if this is supposed to be repairs for water jug, then write repairs for water jug, not re-wa-j, huh?
Well, all right. I don't think that's so far from what happened.
Probably not. Well, sir, what is it you can't read about my check stubs? Doesn't this very clearly say milk? Doesn't this say phone?
Yes, but, darling, don't write milk and phone and light. Put down Riley's Dairy. Put down Tri-State Telephone. Now, here. Red Sea. What's that?
Oh, what do you suppose it is?
I don't know.
Just make a guess. Just make a guess.
Red Cross.
Red Cross.
Well, all right. Oh, well, why don't you just write it and save me the... Check stubs should be filled out so they're legible to anybody.
Well,
even
who reads them but you and me?
Things like me.
And I know what they are.
The tax man looked at them when he was here checking my 58 returns. I tell you, I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed with you sitting there decoding the check stubs. One of them with a recipe for overnight cookies or something.
Icebox cookies.
Icebox cookies.
Aunt Effie's recipe, and I was delighted I found it. I couldn't remember where I'd written it down.
Oh, look, I don't know why I don't give up. Year after year, month after month. Here. Now, look, just look at this one. It just says Wash Ma. No number, no date, no account.
That is the washing machine?
That's...
I told you I sent them a check. I remembered writing it. I wrote them all on the same day, the 11th of May. Just 11th.
Yeah, you're sure? You're sure. Now, look, I don't want to call that repair company and start
I am positive I know that bill was paid.
All right, then, by George, I'm going to call them right now, accusing us of not paying our bills. Well, I cannot help that. The bill was paid. My wife wrote a check on the 11th, and I tell you, when I think of the business that we have given you people for years, well, I must say I resent getting a letter such as I got today. Piper. 13 Rainbow Lake. Yes. What do you mean you have nothing to do with it?
Dear, I just remembered.
Now, look here. You are the third person I have talked to. You are the third person. Now, somebody must have something to do with it. Well, of course, I am very sorry to hear that the bookkeeper is homesick with a cold. But I am not going to call back tomorrow. Now, all I ask you to do is leave a note for her that our bill was paid.
Dear,
and so I cannot help what your books show. The bill was paid.
Dear.
Look, let me talk to the owner, would you please? What's his name? Fraley. Let me talk to
talk to you a minute.
Let me talk to Mr. Fraley.
Dear.
Well, just call him in from the outside, if you will, please. Thank you. Golly, I tell you, these people...
I have been trying to ask you, wasn't there something funny about that washing machine bill?
Something funny about it? Boy, I'll say there's something...
No, funny isn't the word I mean. Wasn't there something about not paying the bill until you talked to them? Yes, there was. I did write the check and mention to you how mad I was that they charged so much, and you just screamed, $55. I mean, you were just, yes, the packing was gone, the man said, or something. And you were furious, and you grabbed the letter from me with the check and said you'd hold it. You were certainly going to find out what that outrageous bill, and then we decided we'd had the washing machine 9 years, and it was cheaper to get it repaired and get a few more years out of it. Don't you remember?
Yes, rather than get a new one now. Yes.
And you took the letter with the check. Didn't you ever mail it?
I don't know. Now the guy's coming to the phone.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here.
Oh.
Mr. Fraley will be annoyed at you. He'll just think I'm scatterbrained. Go on. Look in your inside top coat pocket. You were still wearing it. Then see if the letters are... Hello? Mr. Fraley? Yeah, well, this is Mrs. Piper, and I just feel so silly. After all this to do, I remembered that I did write the check, but I guess I didn't mail it. Isn't that terrible? Well, I'm afraid my husband could just crown me.
Oh, well, if I do, honey, it'll be with a golden crown. Here is the letter.
Yes, I'll mail it tomorrow, Mr. Fraley. Oh, I just feel so silly. Yes, I'm so sorry. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Don't mention it.
I won't. Don't worry. Never again. Here it is.
Where
here
was
it is.
Where was it?
Right here in the inside
Well,
pocket of my
so, dear,
top
I remember
The Couple Next Door stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Never ever give somebody else something to mail for you. Mail it yourself. That's the lesson. 65 years ago, May 27th, 1960, The Couple Next Door here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit us tomorrow for great comedies with Jack Benny, Phil Harris, Fibber and Molly, and The Adventures of Archie Andrews. And visit us anytime at classicradio.stream. For Classic Radio Theater, I'm Wyatt Cox.